What the f- Just look at this place. And smell it. Oh, it's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Ugh. Oh my god, Susato looks fucking shook, dude. She's like, it's so messy. I I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes. Once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. This is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Have you? No, that's true. But according to what Mr. Garadeb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Let's examine, shall we? Of course. The first thing we're gonna examine, this goddamn kitty. Oh my god! Oh! 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 My heart! Oh! No, are you kidding? No, come back! Kitty! Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Or Mike? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. Ugh, it's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Objection! Oh, who's objecting? Oh shit, I gotta change. I forgot I changed my love from Mr. Sam KH to Mr. Sam K Love. Ignore it! I know the immersion. that should be Mr. Sam K Love. We'll change that later, before the Thursday stream. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes. Surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it, look. And the date of purchase. Ah, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. Ah, Paku? Nani? That's just a short while before he was embroiled into the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. The second-hand book receipt has been entered into the court record. Receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a second-hand bookshop before the incident occurred. Nice, nice, nice. Oh look! It's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that, Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him? Oh, and yo, dude, my sub's in the chat. My sub's in the chat. You've got less than a week to react to the sub giveaway in the sub giveaways channel. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same. And this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? 'Cause he's in jail. You mustn't say such things. Rude. Oh, don't look at me like that, Susato. Bro, those eyeballs are piercing through my soul. Ah! I didn't say a word. God damn it. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? What else do we got here? Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. Fucking ooh ooh. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. And I think that's it in terms... Actually, wait, hold on. No, we got to, see. Oh, hey! There's our buddy. There's our good old pal. What up, Herlock? So, dude. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. There he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes! You two! Good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes! We were together on the SS Buria. Ah, yes, of course! The Buria. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi? He died tragically, but you were a great help to us. Ah, yes, but of course! The case of Mr. Asogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh! Well, you seem to remember something of it, at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr... Oh, no, my dear madam. Hold your tongue, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain at it. Miss Naruhodo. And Mr. Susato. Close. Close, dude. And try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Lul. This guy, dude.
Hello, Katrina. Welcome back to the stream.
Yeah, those blocks really test your reflexes. Yeah, and I really don't have that many reflexes.
Good morning, Katrina. Herlock Sholmes, there's a Sherlock Sholmes.
Honor to be remembered vaguely. I know, right? How you doing, Katrina? How you doing? How you doing? In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the other day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements. A little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable... Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know. From an adventure titled A Study in Scarlet. But please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes? We have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness! What an earnest expression! My dear madam, I should be only too pleased. And this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Mr. Natsume's arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume. Yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines, yeah.
But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean.
But... what?
I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective at Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit, then? That's... I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not be deceived into believing that I'm a man of leisure. No. Oh dear. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord. Ah! Tell me.
Doesn't take much to impress her.
Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garadeb, a retired military man.
It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution. That is, the services.
And it was the first time I've ever made a maid from the Great British Institution, that is... service. I didn't think that it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid.
Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer.
And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling... Whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family.
Goodness! How extraordinary.
As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Garridell. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say.
My brain doesn't understand when I am working from home. It's like, why are we working now?
Exactly, Catherine. That's why I'm kind of happy that I still go into the office to work. I definitely need a separation between where I relax and where I work.
Joe, thanks for still chilling, bro. You enjoying some snacks? Lyric-y.
It's either the dingy room or the dingy room. Let's go with dingy, that sounds cooler. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Yeah, for sure, Joe. Appreciate it, man.
Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one.
Ah, but sooner or later, as I said.
I don't believe that's the issue here.
About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that?
Surely not a tax on windows.
Precisely that.
Oh my goodness.
Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means, having inherited a sizable and costly family home perhaps, rapidly closed windows up. While the rich opened windows here, there and everywhere, in an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money.
How awful and unjust. Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light?
Yeah, that is pretty fucking whack, dude. Indeed, disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living here in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging. How did your CEO react, Katharina? And discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinary low price.
Because the room is so awful, I should think.
Apparently, Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe the low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh? Still, that is of little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes. Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? You remembered that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition realized, and so promptly too. Well, the thing is, it's really made me question things. Am I right to believe in my clients? To trust in their innocence? Yes. Trust. Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Natsume didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. But I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, I'll catch up on chat in just a sec, yeah? Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. And one more thing.
Oh? What is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us.
I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is relevant to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired army man who owns this property is hiding something. I agree, dude. He's hella fucking sketch. Mr. Garadeb is? Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case.
Mr. Naruhodo? As yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence.
No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garadeb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. What? I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. Nice start to the week. And yeah, Thursday I'll be back at 8 o'clock, and we'll be playing some more Project Zomboid as well as on Saturday morning. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, so true. To be or not to be? That is indeed the question, Mr. Naruhodo. Nanda? To be or not to be brushed off? That is the question. And the answer is all too clear. Rude!
Let's leave Mr. Sholmes in peace, shall we?
Wow. Oh, hey, Susato. I'm sorry. Are you his bodyguard? All right. I'll leave you to your books. Could you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now.
So really it's just a wall then, isn't it?
But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy.
That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive.
It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
Okay, let me just double check. Oh, check this trash can. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them, in English. It looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out.
I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you?
Or deeply averse to tidying up his mess.
I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth.
Okay, that should be everything. I want to make sure if there are any leftover clues that we explore everything first before we go back upstairs. Yep, I think that's everything. Back up to Mr. Garadeb's room. Vaxxed but not boosted. Okay, for sure. I was just curious.
February 19th, Mr. Garadeb's room.
Ah, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Ah, yes. Right, a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid.
Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there.
Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joan.
Oh no, not this again.
Now then, why don't you tell me what...
Oh my God! For the upteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bolly well doing? God, Jesus. My poor retired balls. Oh.
Bruh. Paula, still not fired. Fucking bruh.
Again!
What's the PSX, PS1, we're black? Yeah, dude, so everything looks uniform. Oh, hey, no, it's all good, Fatlong. It's all good, bro. Yo, dude, your health comes first. Your health comes first, man.
What? For the upteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're belly well doing? Fucking hell. Wait a minute, just if I can do about it. I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir. Yes, of course. Also, get me a pair of new underwear because this has a fucking hole in it. You fucking cunt.
Frightfully rude of me. But I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave if you'd be so kind.
Oh, yes, of course. We are so deeply grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out.
according to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garadeb is hiding something. And since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging. Let's see.
Hey, look, dude. There's our buddy.
What's he doing over there?
Mr. Sholmes? We meet again, my dear fellows. Good gracious. When did you sneak in here? Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service. Whatever were you doing over by the window? I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam.
That's good, Footlong, that's good, man. Jeez, his nuts have got to be liquidated by now.
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet, sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So, I took the liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well,
Keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is the prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering.
and one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, me?
I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind.
Wait, he's not talking about... Is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon.
Do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? There is a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There is just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. This guy be acting like a Monty Python Black Knight.
'Tis but a third-degree burn. Jolly good. Mr. Garadeb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first-rate. I'm afraid, sir, that it is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I've been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care. And the second is that as a result of the beast's violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you. Mr. Naruhodo, look! The old man's broken out in a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How? How could you possibly... could I possibly know, you mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. For in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning, I am the king of beasts. And I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Let's go, baby. Let's go. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Nature of the beast. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Gardep, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for the mighty lion, the king of beasts. What is this piffle, I ask you? In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house. What? Yet, living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well... Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madam?
More shall gather, more shall enter the fray.
Lover Panda 585, thank you very much for the host. Oh, it's always 3v3 for the ranks. Gotcha. Oh, 1 versus 1, but it's very toxic. Gotcha, for sure. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to, madam? Me? I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction. It is? Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show. Ah! Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garadab. At Batty's Circus, a traveling show currently sojourning in a nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe. I most certainly did not. I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. And a simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire.
Conclusion. A rampaging Asiatic lion. Topic 2. Aftermath.
Oh, part of Seven the Zombies community. Thanks for checking out the channel and welcome to the stream. I appreciate it. Enjoy the show. Cheers! He's such an amazing streamer. Know you! Nah, Seven, thanks for all the love, dude. I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, Lover Panda, thanks for giving my channel a chance. Alright, Sam, off to bed. Work in the early AM. Have a good rest of your stream. Cheers! Good night, Shimo! Thanks for hanging out, dude. Always appreciate you keeping me tabbed up, bro. But yeah, have a good shift tomorrow and sleep well, man. Love you, dude. Of course, anytime. Thank you.
Not sure if you're familiar with Ace Attorney, but yeah, if you like visual novels, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And if you like murder mysteries, pretty good. Pretty good.
Hosta, hi Sam. Good morning, Meg. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're on case number 4, and I'm playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which has 2 games in it. So yeah, we should be wrapped up with the first game, I'd say, within like the next month or so. I'm playing it like once a week. And yeah, we're trying to solve the mystery of who stabbed a woman on her way home. She's still alive, so I think we'll inevitably go to the hospital to talk with her. But yeah, right now we're was it having an investigation with the landlord of the place that was accused of the murder, or of the stabbing, not the murder.
Now, Mr. Garadeb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible.
He's like falling asleep.
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders. The pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of tears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible in your visage. Nonsense, man. I simply... But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. And we need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment. For cartloads of meats, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved one has had a devastating impact on the financial circumstances of your household. And so you had no choice but to let it go. Yes, Now, in a final fit of rage, this ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack. Unimaginable? The aftermath of which can be clearly seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I am not mistaken. Oh, dearie me! What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. No problem, Meg. Enjoy the lurk. Thanks for stopping by.
If she's anything like some of the people I work with, then she stabbed herself. Oh no. I don't know if it's just the light from the fire, but it looks like there was a mark on the right side of his face. Ooh. We'll have to investigate that.
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the Tower of Cakes. Ah! There is no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact. Whatever do you mean? Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There is only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India.
Conclusion. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
I swear to fucking God, Joan, what is the matter with you? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me for the fucking umpteenth time, you blind sack of shit.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garridab. I'm afraid I didn't notice for the upteenth time. My deductions can be startlingly sharp. Bruh, indeed, dude.
Bruh.
It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too. Oh! Mr. Sholmes? Sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? Again.
God damn it. Switch, please. My immersion. My immersion.
There we go. Welcome back, Footlong. His face. How is there any tea left in that pot? Solve that mystery. I know, right?
It still probably feels better than the confetti.
The immersion's restored. Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think that a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it is the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well?
But if an uncaged lion had run amok in this very room, surely Mr. Gardeb and his maid would have been hurt, or worse.
Ah, that's where you are stuck. No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said that they sold the lion to the circus.
And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea.
Ah, my dear Susato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever anyone lands on Great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea. Including lions, for sure.
Oh, what a glorious notion. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your time. It's your turn to shine again.
I had a feeling that was coming. All right, guys, time to clean up. Time to clean up this mess. Iron things out to get. Iron some things. Damn, Sholmes hasn't any common sense. He has good intentions, but yeah, no, I don't know about a lion, bruh.
A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it!
Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile, whatever the motivation. At least that's what I want to believe. Let us start again from the beginning of Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1, Nature of the Beast. Conclusion, a rampaging Asiatic lion.
It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garadeb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming.
No, but if you observe Mr. Garadeb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yes, something with a very fierce nature. But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India. Actually, oh shit, that's still Susato.
Take 2.
But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India.
So what was it then?
It was Colonel Mustard with the revolver in the observatory.
Yeah, slight massage pulls out sledgehammer. I was about to say, don't tell Susato fell for that BS. Nah, Paula, the fatter maid was stripped and left in the room to delay the tiger.
We must follow Mr. Garadeb's gaze. That will lead us to the true answer.
What really caused the damage in this room? The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that. Oh, look what we have here, chat.
Take that!
Take that!
Behind the lion statue on the mantelpiece, almost deliberately hidden from view, is a photograph. Though I have yet to examine it in detail, I can assure you that it holds the answer. Because I'm employing an extremely advanced detection technique called jumping to conclusions, you see. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting you to hear it. I'm quite proud of it. I find myself wanting never to have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. Oh no, that's not it. Oh shit. Oops. Oh. Lul. Sorry, I'll try again. No! I should have saved before we started this shit. Oh, God damn it, dude. Mr. Sam K. Derps in the chat. Oh no, dude. I haven't saved at all since we started streaming today. We still have four attempts. Master Slap, that thing's still hanging. Mystic, thanks for the fails and the derps. Joe, thanks for the derps.
And the Mr. Sam K.
Sorry, I'll try again. Go, alright.
Well, what we do know with some certainty is that a destructive creature has been at work in this room.
And that Mr.
And that Mr. Gardeb inadvertently looked in the direction of something that gives its identity away. Yes, if we investigate thoroughly enough, we ought to find the answer. What did Mr. Gardeb turn to look at? It's here somewhere. We simply need to find it. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by... It's gotta be the artillery shells. Yep, gotta be, dude. These are shells for the cannon, are they? What a strange place to keep them. I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Gardeb from his time in the army. Ah, of course. He mentioned a battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said that he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these that hit him. If a round that size had hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it. Or Mr. Gardeb, for that matter. No problem, Master, if you gotta head out. No worries, dude. Yeah, it's almost midnight here. Thanks for the derps, Paula. You had it, and then fucked it up. Just the blasting cap could have done that level of damage. Yeah, it's gotta be the shell. Mr. Sholmes has a Persian slipper. And this man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece? Yeah, it's gotta be. I'll double check. Yeah, no, it's definitely the shells, dude.
Take that!
Wait, there's a certain sound that it makes when you get it right. I don't know if this is it. Hold on. The true identity of the beast that tore this room apart is these shells. With their butter wouldn't melt accomplice, the cannon. But war is good for nothing. It only brings destruction. Something we must all strive to understand. Oh no, that's not it, chat. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting you to hear it. I'm quite proud of it. I find myself wanting never to have heard it. I'm quite pained by it, in fact. If he is suggesting the cannon fired in the room, that is the worst deduction in history. Wait!
More shall gather.
Rev, good
More
morning,
shall
dude.
enter
Thanks for
the
the host,
fray.
bro. Wait. What else could it be? Is it the lion statue? Because I thought that's what we were trying to fix. Are you still in the UK? We are in London. Whole damn apartment would probably be gone. That's true. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant
Our
here.
illustrious champion.
Rev, thanks for the 23 months, my dude. Almost 2 fucking years. How you doing, Rev? How's your week going so far? Thanks for the 23, man. Cheers in the chat for the 23-month resub. Thanks, homie. I'm just gonna choose the... what? There's nothing else that it's highlighting for me. It's not the photograph frame. It's not the shells. But if we're... Yeah. 2 years incoming? Yeah, man. Thank you so much, dude.